Hello everyone, good to see you. Paul Trani here. Going to dive into a live stream on live streaming. So I thought this would be fun since it's a hot topic right now. Kind of want to pull back the curtains and share with you basically how we run the show, and also if you wanted to do some live streaming yourself. So good to see you, Sam Peterson, Colby. What's up? Steve, Arya, Daniel, Ariana, Amin. Awesome. So meta is what's happening right now. Jasmine, Christine, you are correct. Jamie, Dubai's in the house. This is fantastic. All right, so yeah, we're gonna peek behind the scenes. In fact, let me just kind of share with you right here. I'm gonna switch to another camera. As you can see right here, this is what I have going on. I have a new camera. This is just a webcam pointing to this screen. And then this screen signal is going through a converter, so it gets picked up on that machine. That machine is my streaming machine. And I could see chat right over here, obviously a mic right here, and then there's a camera right there in the center. I don't know if you could see that. I don't know if I'm helping at all, but it's kind of behind the mic. So that's kind of peeking behind the scenes, and yeah, that's my goal, is to just demystify all of this for you is the goal. So I think it'll be fun. All right, it's so that the mic isn't really on a. I don't even, to answer your question. I don't know if this is called a boom arm, but this is interesting because I actually have this microphone right here, just out of frame. I have it edited slightly, just trimmed up, cropped the video feed. It's not quite on a boom arm specifically. It's just on a mic arm that I kind of rigged up that way. So could be a little bit better, but that's okay. And that's kind of what it's all about, is kind of doing something maybe that might be considered low budget, and then you slowly upgrade equipment before long. But I also want to get in the creation of graphics. We have these graphics behind me, right? So we're going to make some cool graphics. We'll do some lower thirds, zoop, right over here. That sort of thing is what's going to happen. So let me go ahead and switch screens, because I'm actually going to share with you this setup that I have going on. So I'll be publishing this out. This is a Adobe Spark page on how to live stream, right? So this is the short of it. You could have a simple setup, kind of like what I used to have, to something a little bit more advanced, okay? I'm gonna share this link with you guys, so this should work out pretty well. And again, like it says right up here, for the simple setup, it's gonna be using just a USB mic probably. Just one right here. This is the Apogee Mic Plus. Used this for years, right? And I have some others as well, right? We all have our tech graveyards of equipment that you used to use. But this is kind of where you'd start, as like a little USB mic. That's what I have here. Under $100, right? Seems to work pretty well, right? And I'll go ahead and let me get this link out to you guys in case you want to take a peek. I will paste it in chat. There you go. There you are. Okay, so I just pasted that link in chat just so you have it. It's basically just this simple setup, then I'll get into the pro setup. Obviously, you need a webcam, which is what I have over here. Here's just a simple webcam. This is the Logitech Brio HD. In fact, you could see it a little bit better if I can navigate this around. Right here, this is just a simple webcam, an HD webcam, which works out great. So most of the time you're going to be using one of these. Again, works out well, and that's the one that we were viewing a second ago. So check that out. This quality is like really good. I'm thoroughly impressed with this quality, right? So pretty nice. You can see what that looks like. It's pretty awesome. Cool. Or you could use the laptop mic. And again, it's all about what you want to spend, right? So chances are, if you're going to spend more, you're probably going to get better and better quality is your goal. So yeah, you could use your laptop mic, but it's going to sound like it came from a laptop, just so you know. Same thing with even with the webcam. Like, do you really need a webcam? Maybe not. Maybe you could use. Hey, check this out. You ready for this? I'll use Sound Booth. No, sorry, Photo Booth. Photo Booth, and I'll just tap into my my camera. This is the quality of my camera built into this cinema display, which it's horrible. Compare that to the camera, this Panasonic Lumix GH5. You could see huge difference in quality. This looks, look at, I look like a ghost. What is wrong with me? Let's close that. So embarrassing, right? Yeah, thank you, Julia. Julia, you live streamed today. That was awesome. And I think you posted on Instagram your setup, which I thought was really, I think it's always fun to kind of peek behind the scenes and see what people are using. So Julia has the same thing where she has a green screen behind her as well. So here's, if I just take a second and turn this, make sure this is selected, and change this, you could see that there's actually a green screen of sorts. Come on now. I'm probably gonna break this setup. There we go. So here's roughly the green screen behind me, right? I just changed the key threshold of the color, and I'm able to knock that out. So I already have that color selected. The hardest thing, and honestly, sometimes you think that you need a greener green or something like that. If you want to key it out correctly, you're going to need like lights that are lighting it up, right? So if I move this light over, see, look at that green that I get right there. It's because I don't have light pointing at the green screen, lighting up that green screen. In fact, yeah, so that's the short of it. Hopefully that makes sense. I pointed away. Oh no, it's no longer lit. Half the time I feel like it's lighting when it comes to green screens. You have to have them lit correctly. Then I have two right over here, as you can see. So if I switch back over really fast, you'll be able to see these two other lights. One's there, and one is right up there. So got that nice one with a nice little diffusion on it, and that one doesn't have a diffusion, which is probably why I'm shiny in shots. All right, hopefully that's starting to make sense. Okay, cool. And of course, Paco is the expert. I feel like I'm just his, I've been trained by Paco, right? That's the short of it. So right in here, obviously you need a laptop for creating and streaming, but these are all your inputs basically. You know, you can get a cheap ring light, start there. You can try to grab a green screen, or just have some simple background, right? I would say out of all of these, I tried to kind of do these in order, and I should have put lights in. Well, we have a ring light here. I kind of did these in order of what I think is like most important. Because I would say audio is most important if you ask me. Like, video can sometimes be a little bit glitchy, but if the audio sounds bad, nobody's going to want to listen to you. So that's the short of it. All right, my boom is in the shot. Maybe, maybe not. All right, then now let's upgrade to the Pro setup, okay? So that's what's going on now. We have this Pro setup where you have this Rode Procaster mic with the USB audio interface. So again, if I switch over right here, here we have that Rode Procaster. You might have your own type of mic that you like, right? Some people like Yetis. I think Howard has a Yeti. Yeah, this is huge. I'm just testing this out to see how this works as well. Be very mindful of the direction the mic is, right? So I have to have this pointed like right at my mouth for it to read and pick up correctly, okay? That goes right down here to my little, let's move it around, audio interface right there. So here's the audio interface. It's getting that input, converting it to just a little, gets plugged in by USB in the back, right? There's actually two inputs that I can have in case I have a guest, because Howard came up one day and we had some fun streaming together. So that's the setup for the Pro setup. So let's switch over actually. And just so you know, I'm using a Stream Deck as well, so that should be listed under the Pro setup. You ready for this? So yeah, Jennifer, you like the Yeti as well. We also have like in a Pro setup, you can have better lights and this crazy thing. So this is what's happening now. A DSLR, you're going to graduate from DS to a DSLR plus an HDMI to USB converter, right? And there's different ones out there. I think Julia uses a different one than I do. I use the Magewell, but basically that is this. Let's switch over right here. This little converter, as you can see right here, this converts the signal, USB, capture, HDMI. And right now I just have it plugged into this camera just to demonstrate how this works. And once that's plugged in, that basically allows your system to recognize it like it's a webcam. So if I go back to just photo booth, just to keep it simple, right? Here's my built-in camera, which is horrible. And then I'll change this to, let me switch over. Here we are. I'm going to change this camera input to USB capture HDMI, right? Oh, looks like I gotta, give me 1 second. There we go. Oh wait, hold on. Come on, press the, this is a reversed, kind of a reverse look at this. But basically it is getting the input, just so you know. I'm not sure why it's not picking it up right now, and I probably need to press. Okay, here we go. There we go. There we are. Let's turn this around like so. Pray that it doesn't fall off its little stand right here. And yeah, you can see how detailed we can get and how we can get that input. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's just move that away. That's scary. All right, you guys get the idea. Right? Cool. We got our pro setup roughly, got some good lights. We have the laptop for creating, which is in front of me. That's going to go into OBS or Wirecast. But also I need to kind of set up my software and create graphics, which is what this is also going to be about. Okay, so I could use OBS, or I can use good old Wirecast. Use either one. OBS is Open Broadcast Software. So I'm going to go ahead and launch it. This is OBS right here. We could use this. We can come down here and add a scene, and let's just get rid of some of these because yours will not have this. Right, let's get rid of some of those. There we are. Okay, I'm going to add a new scene. So this is my screen sharing. Just like that. So that's the scene that I'm working on, and now I need to add the sources. The same thing for Wirecast, to be honest, just done different ways. Oh, let's take a look. First thing I can work with is maybe the video capture device. Okay, video capture device, just give it a default name. I have one already set up there, but we'll just create a new one because that's what you're going to get initially. And this is going to be your device drop-down list, right? So I have that USB capture HDMI right in here that I could select. And then I also have my display eyesight camera right there. So that's what we'll bring in like so, right? You position that accordingly. You get the idea, okay? Adding another source, we'll do a display capture now. Click OK, and now we can grab the entire display of what I'm working on. So typically when you see people stream and they only have one screen, that's when you see just a flash of this. You'll see just a flash of OBS typically, right? But we'll click OK, and that's what it's getting. It's getting actually this screen like so, okay? Let's move this down like that. And that's typically what we'll have. I'll turn that off for now. And let's work on some graphics, shall we? I want to make some cool graphics. Sorry if I have not been watching chat. Yeah, so Mohammed, try live viewfinder. Yeah, I just needed to press one silly button there. I had to hack this DSLR with, was it Blackmagic? To basically remove all the graphics off of it. Right? So you got to remove all of those overlays. That's what you have to do with some cameras. So it's not going to be a clean input into your system. So just be aware of that. Yeah, so Steve, wondering if how the iPhone cam would work there as well. That's a good question. And how you could hook that up, because you could actually do that. Now that I think about it, you could take your iPhone and have that serve as a potential input, right? And what I would do there is do screen sharing, right? And yeah, bring it in that way. Yeah, that's something interesting to think about. Into it. Yeah, and so Julia uses OBS. Yeah, I used OBS for years, right? OBS is awesome, right? But just to kind of compare the two. Also, I'd want to get my audio in here, so I don't have this connected right now. I should probably grab this and, plug this in. You know how that works. You guys don't need to watch me do that. Okay, you're going to get everything in here, but we also need graphics in here as well. So for this intro even, I already have a couple graphics, but typically I'll have an intro scene, and then I'll have sort of the live streaming screen as well, or scene. But let's go ahead and jump into, say, Wirecast real fast. Try the iPhone, Steve. Let me know what happens. Yeah, Jack's used an old iPhone as a second camera. That's a great idea. All right, so we'll just create an empty document. This is also going to be a little confusing, but now you can kind of see them side by side. They work so similarly, it's not even funny. So right over here, what do? Well, we'll add our video camera, right? So we'll jump in and just grab our iSight video, same one. We can see that one come in a second. Wait for it, wait for it. There it is, right? It's going to come in like so. I would probably crop it. Crop the top, right? And by the way, I could do the same thing here in OBS, right? I'll go to this video capture device. If you right click on it, you can add filters. So filter effects, we could do a chroma key. Key color type, green, and I've keyed it out like so. So it's already been keyed out. You get the idea. And I can always use a couple of effects on this as well, on this footage. Color key. I'd want to be able to sample that color, but that's actually kind of keying me out already, right? You get the idea. Okay, that's not bad. Right up here, Wirecast. There it is, like I want to do. I want to crop the top like so, like that. And let's just go full screen, shall we? How about that? Going full screen, cropping it down. We'll click right over there. It's the broadcast area. And let's go over to this.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Let's pick a color with the mouse. Let's click. Let's first get black. So now I'm going to pick a color with my mouse to knock out. Bump. There we are. That's the color I want. You might not see anything initially because you got to play with this black and white clip on for both sides, right? So we're clipping all that black and all that white, and usually it's a matter of trying to keep my my face in there. There we go. Without while losing the background. All right. Cool. All right. There we go. Wait for it. I'm going to put some graphics in here now as well, because now that we have these feeds in here, I could definitely drop in some graphics.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
And I'm going to fix my audio so she does not say that this whole time. Output. Nothing. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this dance. So we have me keyed out. And again, I'm just using this little camera. It's not even the good one, right? I have a much better camera hooked up right up there, okay? So I feel this is like, using that one, not so good.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay, let me stop that. There we go. Fixed. Okay, so this is my source and this is my output off to the side. For these, we could drop in images, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. We'll open up Photoshop, right? We could see the background that I was using a second ago, like this live action background, right? With some fun stuff on it. Well, guess what? What is this? It's done in Photoshop. We can go to File, New. Typically, it's gonna be 1920 by 1080, right? Video size, create, and then start creating. I just used this image that I found a while back, got it from Adobe Stock, right? Dropping that in since it fit my subject matter, right? Dropping it in like so, and also creating graphics as well. Let's go like that. All right. All right. Yeah, exactly, Julia. Thanks for bringing that up, by the way. When it comes to audio, that's a whole other deal. Sometimes you'll see people with headphones. If I, these are actually plugged into my Scarlett. Let me go back. Into my USB audio interface. That's what it's plugged into, so I could actually hear my voice and the music in the background. So there has been occasions where like a really horrible song will come on and I won't know it because I actually can't hear the music. So you guys have to tell me if horrible music comes on, right? But I don't like the look of having the headset on and all that. I'd rather just keep it clean, just like this. Also notice that I'm obviously wearing black. This is gonna be, it's just easier, right? Just a matte black shirt is just, it doesn't conflict as much. I was wearing a gray shirt earlier and it was still picking up some of the green. You'd be surprised. How can we keep a consistent corner video size and position? That's just, I would honestly just remember your ratios because I'm going to move this down and I'll go over here and this is in Wirecast. It's now going to be, say, 50% the size. And I would usually drop it down even smaller, right? And just remember that it's always going to be 40%. Currently, this Paul right here, the actual feed is about 48% roughly. But that's what I do, just drop it in down there. And then let's put some graphics in here, right? Just like I was working on in Photoshop, right? I can go with this. I can try some fun things just dealing with color as well. I was thinking about grabbing some gradients, you know, just dropping in, say for instance, just some fun gradients, because you know what? I like gradients. Something like that. I love these colors, right? So maybe if I could take something like that and play with the blend modes. So here we have just a nice darken with it, which looks really good. I'm making sure that background is served as a background, right? Lighten gets a little too distracting. Overlay is not bad. I want to go with something like darken, right? So that looks pretty good. That being done, honestly, this is what I will do. I will group everything. I put it in a folder and I call it background, JPEG. Let's save it in our, on our desktop, for instance. Just call it screens. We could even call it something like screens or screen for all of our screens or all of our backgrounds. And actually what I'm going to do right now, you ready for this? This is cool. I'm going to turn on the generate image assets feature right here. So I usually turn that on and it's always going to generate this folder right over here. And let's quit out of OBS. It's always going to create this folder with assets, right? And it will dynamically update this graphic. So now I'm going to go over here in Wirecast and add that particular file. Go to my desktop, all my screen assets, whatever, or my scenes or whatever, making sure it's behind everything else. So I'll move it down like so. And, you know, there we have sort of the start of what I'm going for today. All right. So right over here, I would take this. See right here, we have this particular scene. I actually don't know what this is called, to be honest with you. But what I would do here is I would rename this, and this would be live action, like that. And I would duplicate that shot, and this next one would be screen, like that. All right, so for this first one, I'm gonna go in here, grab this, make sure this is going to be 100%. Like that, boom, boom, right? Boy, I need to give myself some color, that is for sure. Let's actually kind of bump up the saturation. And again, it's coming from that little camera. I'm just so embarrassed by that little camera. It's so distracting, right? But you can see this could be the live action, and then we have our screen like so. Okay. All right. That's funny, Jennifer. You have a ton of. You need to figure out the background. Background's is kind of a big thing because everybody's kind of peeking into your private life when they get to see, you know, where your home is. So it's kind of a big deal, right? So now we have our two scenes. We're gonna have this first one, then we have the second one, and I should probably sit up a little more straight. But for this one, I could also drop in my lower third. But the cool thing about this is if I go over here for this background folder, by the way, let's just drop in. Wait for it. Yes, access it. Drop in a different color, and look what it did. Isn't that magical? Do you guys see what's going on here? Let's move this in. So here's Wirecast. Here I am in Photoshop, and I can actually change it, and thanks to this generate image assets, it will actually change the background in real time. So I could be live streaming, and I could be able to change, say, the background, which I think is kind of cool. Right? Isn't that nice? Let's go back to maybe this one. Might be a little dark. I don't know. I'm just playing with different styles right now. Okay, and again, this is just a watermarked version, right? We can see, let's just move that over. That's like much cleaner. All right. Fantastic. Wirecast seems to need a lot of tweaking. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, everything needs to be tweaked to get it just right. I'm just gonna kind of add a little light right in here to my face, maybe. There we go. Trying to make it better. Okay, maybe like that. There we go. I don't know. Need some work. You get the idea. Tunk, what's up? Good to see ya. So that's the idea. I like being able to change these at will. So if I decide I don't like this background, I want to go with something entirely new, I can jump out there, maybe go to my libraries. I happen to have some more images like this one here. I think is really cool. You know, maybe I don't want that hardware. I want to drop in something like this. As long as it's in that same folder, it's going to be called that same, or it's going to update that same graphic, right? Boom. Kind of like that, okay? Easy enough, right? I have some other color splashes and some fun things, but these are just still images. I could actually animate these because did you see for my live action intro, you have these graphics that are moving around. Like this looks pretty good. Like this light in my face is a little bright, but this is along the lines of what I think is like pretty cool, okay? And we want to get to that point, and we will. But first we need to make our lower third. So let's switch back. Got a weird space Paul going on. It actually kind of works with my current lighting over here. That kind of works. All right. Let's jump in here. We have background. We'll make our lower third, so it's the same process. I'll even just add a new folder. Lower third dot PNG. We want it to be a ping file. Okay, let me just turn this light off for now. And in here, we could start playing with a lower third. And by the way, what you could also do is, just to set this up right, you could do a screenshot of your face for the live stream, grab that screenshot, and use it in Photoshop as your mock-up, right? So that's what I'm doing right over here. Let's move both of these over. Taking that one, pasting it in, selecting that green, keying it out like that, and let's invert it. Something kind of like that, okay? I don't know. This is just for positioning only, okay? For positioning only, which is why I'm just gonna give myself a nice little... There we go. That's better. That makes me feel a little bit better. I can't stand too much Paul. It's not good. All right. So grabbing some of these graphics, use a rectangle tool, dropping that in like so. We have that green. Not crazy about the green. I probably want to take some hints from the background so it ties together. Okay, so let's grab a little bit of that blue, that kind of teal color like so. We have that. There we go. Drop in our name. Cool. Some design tricks here. Since I do work for Adobe, I'll stick with Adobe Clean. Bold. We'll make this all caps, like so. Drop that down, like so. Changing this to more of a white. And we'll make it a little bit more elegant by making it smaller, like that. Oh, sorry about that. Let's move that over. Let's move my head over too. There we go. So Ahmed, to answer your question, OBS is open broadcast software. It's free, and it is an app that lives on your laptop. So you are correct, my friend. Adding a title. I'm gonna cut that out like that. And thanks so much for hanging out with me. I think it's been a fun day. I saw Aaron Nace earlier. Awesome seeing Aaron Nace. He's just awesome. Love Aaron. He was doing a little Photoshop. I'm gonna do a little Photoshop. Hey, why not? But also we want to animate some of this content, right? Let me just get it in a place first. And we're gonna take this down to a light. We'll just do something like that. There we are. Bringing that over like so. Okay, how you guys doing? Yeah, Steve. That's a good question. Do big newscasts like CNN use Wirecast? I know a lot of live events use Wirecast, but I honestly don't know if CNN does. I actually used to work at Stars, but again, that wasn't live. It wasn't a live feed, so that's a good question. I want to say yes, but honestly, I don't know what's out there that's better than Wirecast, I guess. All right, so that's a good question. This definitely needs to be cleaned up because it's kind of ugly, right? Look at this, it's kind of ugly. It's like, I'm not really that excited about it, you know? Or you can do this kind of thing in XD as well. The reason I like Photoshop is because it outputs it instantaneously. Okay, so this needs some sort of icon or something down here. And I apologize for being in the way, but it needs some like icon down here, right? In Photoshop, I can go to the custom shape tool. We have a bunch of shapes in here that we can potentially use, right? I'd probably want to do something that's kind of art or design related. Obviously, there's like a paintbrush right here. I could drop that in. Maybe that will work. Let's do that on its own layer. Wait for it. There it is. Or I can go to some of my other graphics. So give me 1 second. Let's go to some fonts. Wait for it. Here we go. We could drop in this Creative Cloud logo, for instance. That might work. Or even the Adobe one, right? If this is going to be Adobe Stream, I'd actually definitely want to change this color, right? So that is just not going to work. That's not going to fly with branding, but we can always change that to black. Go to Principal Evangelist. Take the, I'll probably take down the opacity of this a little bit and make that look a little bit more subtle, like so. Okay. All right. Let's make that a little larger. And yeah, that works for me. All right, so quick lower third, really fast. Done pretty quickly, right? Remember, it is in this folder right over here called lower third PNG, right? Since I have that folder named that image name and I have this turned on, it will automatically generate that graphic. So when we go over here and we look in our screen assets, oh, there it is right there, right? Perfect, right? Including that little outline that I was using earlier. So let's turn that off. Right? It generates just that title like so. Now I can go into Wirecast or OBS, your choice, and drop in that image. So adding a media file, let's grab that lower third like that. And move this into position. All right, let's go into output. 1080p, okay, good, good, good. Canvas size, 1920 by 1080, perfect. Right, but there that is, like so. Okay, cool. Got it, easy enough. Apologize for the bad image quality currently right in there, but I think it's all, you're getting the point across here. If I happen to misspell my name or get a promotion or whatever, right, as I change it, we'll see it change. This is something Paco has to deal with all the time. Is like, are different people's names gonna fit? You know, how big does this need to be? This is our life, you know, making sure that all fixed. If I decide I want to put in my middle name, you can see it updates. Okay. Cool. Okay, so Damon, to answer your question, for your library to grab those icons. So right in here, I've clicked right here. What I've done is I've gone to this flyout menu and actually, no, I guess I didn't add anything there, did I? You should have legacy shapes and more. I'm pretty sure those should automatically be in there. What I did is I moved them all to one folder so they're easier to see. If they're ever not there or there's some issue, you can go to Restore Default Shapes and you can actually import your own shapes as well. So those are two things you can do. But even on that note, we also have right over here, if I open this up, this shapes panel as well. So we can see all these shapes right in here. Let's go to this flyout menu really fast. All right, cool. This is what I wanted to point out right here. So this is interesting. I'm so glad you asked this. Open up your shapes panel, because initially you might not get a lot of these shapes, especially you won't get all of these. These are legacy shapes, and I can't tell you how many times I just jump in there and like grab a heart. Right, it works out perfect. Go to this flyout menu, and this is where you can add the legacy shapes and more. That'll give you all those additional ones. And you have to do it through there. It looks like you can't do it right up here through this menu. So yeah, I'm glad you asked. Now I know. So yeah, add what you want. You could add we could add a heart, whatever the case may be. You get the idea. changing things around, having fun, right? We have that set up, right? Guess what? Also in Wirecast, you can actually add, and I'm surprised somebody didn't say this, but in Wirecast, you can go in and you can actually add a text overlay, right? So you could actually add your own text element in here. So we have new text. This could serve as my title. So this might be, go right over here. This is how to live stream, like that. Move that over. This could be the title before I go live. And let's change the font like that. Cool. And then go live. Boom, boom. Right, easy enough. All right. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Ahmed, good to have you here. Cool, so we have half of this set up. I'm gonna get into some video as well, if you don't mind, because we have that static background, we have just a static lower third, but we could have some fun in After Effects as well. So we could even take this current file, which happens to be in Photoshop, it's just called screen, and potentially use some of these elements, right, to make an animated background, right? Kind of like this one so far too. I think this one's pretty strong. Hopefully this is all making sense. I'm kind of making graphics right now. I haven't really gotten into like actually publishing out a stream. But right in here, once we get this set up, right, we can get this set up with shortcut keys. You can go from here to here. And by the way, once I share my screen, I'd go right over here, add that, add screen capture right here. And just to make this easy, we'll go screen capture. This is what we'll add. We can add the entire monitor, the window, even in this case a game, but let's go ahead and select full screen. This is where it's going to get trippy. Okay, wait for it. I wonder why it's not capturing my monitor right now. Capture full screen, go, do your thing. All right, so that's typically how you would add it. Should be right in that menu. Once you're ready to go live, output, you do that through your output settings. The big thing with, of course, live streaming is your bandwidth. You want it to be consistent. So if I take a look right in here, if we wanted to go live to any one of these platforms, I could pick one of these if I want to. Say YouTube, for instance, right? YouTube has quite a few recommendations. Chances are you're going to want to publish this out at 1080p, right? So I would go right up here, and Paco can correct me. I would do something like this. 1080p, 4.5, yeah, 4,500 kilobits a second, or 4.5 megabits, right? So 1920 by 1080, 30 frames. Assuming you have 4,500 kilobits per second output. So what do? Go to something like speed of me. Is my system even going to be fast enough to live stream? And it looks like I have Ben Marriott up next in 10 minutes, doing some animation frame by frame. It's not going to be the download speed. I'm not really worried too much about that. It's going to be the upload speed, and some of your latency as well. But this upload speed has to be greater than 4.5 for sure, right? So we'll see that come through in a second. But once that's set up, I can adjust this accordingly. Maybe I can go a little bit lower if I want to. I could try 4,000, save it as Paul's YouTube settings. Audio is going to be in stereo. Sure enough, upload speed is 8.38 currently, which is a little low. In OBS, can you live stream into social media websites? That's a good question. I don't know if Julia is still here or not. Since I've switched over, yeah, that is a good question. All right. And then you need to authenticate. I'm not going to worry about authenticating now. Actually, what I typically use is just a straight up RTMP server, right? Honestly, this is all I use. You're not going to get anything else out of me other than that. But you just drop in the address and then the stream key, and then you use that encoding that you set. So those are the two things you need. You hit OK. When you're ready to go live, first of all, nothing's going to happen here, but when you're ready to go live, it'll go live. Cool. All right. Thank you, Sam Peterson. Yeah, so I don't know about OBS if you can go to if you can live stream to two social media websites. In Wirecast, you can, because if I go into the output settings, I can pick like Facebook Live. That could be one. Right? And I can set that up. And I can add another one that's YouTube. The thing is, if I do that, right? If I end up with two, that doubles my bandwidth. So it's actually pushing out like almost like 9 kilobits per second. So I don't have the bandwidth to live stream to multiple places. But you're probably wondering, like, how could you? Could you actually have something that would restream to multiple platforms? And there is. And again, we're not associated with any of these products. We just use them. I happen to use this thing called Restream, restream.io. And you just stream to it, and it will go ahead and stream out to all those other platforms, right? So right now I'm streaming to Facebook, to Periscope, to obviously to Behance, and actually 2 Facebook locations, right? So that's what's happening there. Cool. I think it's pretty awesome, all right? But again, once we have that set up, we can get to our screens. We can get back to our animation. Again, I was using stock.adobe.com where I pulled down a bunch of images. I can grab video from here as well, so I can search for, let's just try background, see what happens. I'm gonna try to get some video. All right. Yeah, exactly, Steve. So Terry hits them all at once because he has a lot of bandwidth. I don't have as much bandwidth, but Restream takes care of all that for me. So I actually am everywhere just like that. Just done in a little bit different way. Plus, with Restream, I can read all the chat, and it puts it all in one dialogue for me. Okay, so right over here, I can jump in and say, hey, you know what? Let's go with videos. Since we want to live stream, we can take advantage of having some cool backgrounds, right? Like what we see in here. Right, so I just did background. I could do looping background. Have a looping background that will appear behind me. You can see a number of them right in here. But we could also make our own. So yeah, you can get them from stock.adobe.com. You could try places like Pexels. I've even checked out Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S. You do looping background. Same thing. Under videos. And yeah, there you go. You have your rotating Earth that I can check out and download, right? Yeah, Terry has ridiculous internet. I actually do need better internet, to be honest with you. But it's just so expensive. All right, with that done, yes. Do all that. Go into After Effects. Let's start with our file. Here's already some graphics in here, but I only have like 5 minutes. Let's grab this screen PSD and drop it into After Effects. Wait for it. We're gonna get this dialog. You want to import it as a composition, editable layer styles and all that stuff? Yeah, why not? Right, there it is. Double click on screen. We can see these different graphics. I actually don't need that lower third. Even this background. Ooh, here's all my fun layers. Right, I really just wanted this background, this DSLR background, but I also have that color overlay. And I have other overlays right in here as well. But nonetheless, this could be something that I potentially move. I can add graphics to this, and that's what I do. I take an ellipse, drop it on top, right? Like we see there. Potentially change the fill. Actually, let's go into the effect controls for this ellipse, the gradient fill. Stretch this out a little bit more like that, okay? So that's all I'm doing. I'm gonna change this layers blend mode to overlay, right? So now we have this fun circle that can kind of just pass over the background of my custom background. And actually what I would encourage you to do is, like, if you are doing like a live stream on your art, like put some of your own art back there is a great idea. So that is like so. I did this last week too. I kind of talked about how to make video backgrounds. But anyways, let's dive into it here, and let's move me over. I should have a second scene, honestly, where I'm at the other side. But let me just pop over there. We want to go ahead and do a couple things here. We want to change the position and change the scale of this particular object. Maybe the opacity, but just do those two right now. Here's those two keyframes. So it's like, hey, I'm right here at this point in time. Perfect. Scrub down, grab this, move it over here, make it a little larger, like so, right? Automatically adds those keyframes, as you can see, right down there. Cool. So there it is. We'll hit play, hit the space bar. You can see that slowly move. But this is what I would do. This is 30 seconds long. I would start playing with this and just moving it around the screen in a fun way, right? And then the cool thing is I can also duplicate this and manipulate it some more as well. So that's what I would probably do, right? I need these first and last frames to be the same, so I'm gonna copy the position and size and paste them at the end. So now the first and last frames are the same. Now we can see that moving around, right? We'll take that same shape layer, we'll duplicate it, Command D, hit U to expand this out. We could take all these frames. We could do a couple things. We could do a time reverse keyframes. That's what I'd like to do. Layer, time, reverse layer. Just reversed that whole movement. So that one moves differently. Technically, they both end up at the same spot, in which case I want to move this one over here, right? But again, I'm just making a quick background for you that you could drop in to your live stream. And I only have a couple minutes left, but already we're getting someplace. And by the way, we don't want these to be the same. Let's go in here and edit this gradient, right? Let's make this, I want more of a teal actually, like a teal color. Like that. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I'm open to thoughts. Let's... Okay, so that's not bad. I'm actually rotating the gradient. It's really hard to tell, and I apologize. There we go. Let's move this down. There we go. So you can see it a little bit better. I'm just making a different gradient. Trying to, but still trying to keep it within the same family. All right, cool. Done. Fantastic. I will typically what is this called? Background.jpg. Let's export it out and we'll be done. So yeah, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Oh, so Sam, you've been working on getting that. Oh, by the way, yeah, animated background the past couple times. So yeah, After Effects is so fun. By the way, like I did already point out stock. I pointed out pixels as well, so you can go ahead and grab video that's out there. Like I've done. I gotten like, here's another cool one, right? It's just some blinking squares, right? That might work. Here's another one that's a lovely loop, right? So I can consider like using these, but just making it custom, because otherwise somebody else could have this exact same thing and it's just not going to be as neat, right? Here's another really nice one, right? Just some nice atmosphere that we can add. We'll drop that in here and we add that with our artwork. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. Down to my last minute. I gotta go, guys. I'll be back tomorrow where I'll show you some more magic when it comes to creating cool live streams. So thanks so much. More cool video stuff tomorrow. I can't wait to show you. We can even animate our lower thirds as well. So thanks for watching. Ben is up next with animating frame by frame. So perfect. Whew. All right, Ben. Take it away, buddy. He'll be up in a second, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? See you tomorrow. Stay here for Ben, though. Thank you, everyone.